These generally are considered tonic herbs. I mean, especially reishi, we've just been talking about TCM and the Chinese system. Like that is one of their top superior herbs. Though there may be 70 odd in the system, like it's within the top three. You know, like people would argue about that. Again, safe to take every day, blah, 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 no side effects. However, the one caveat I know about reishi, low blood pressure. That's
if you have low blood pressure, because it can lower your blood pressure too much.
Welcome to the Light Cellar Podcast, brought to you by Light Cellar, a place where you can learn to find and craft your own food and medicine. In this interview series, you will meet a range of characters in the health and wellness space that are bringing light to your everyday. You'll hear from a number of different experts on a wide variety of topics. We have several different series within the podcast, including our Wild Wisdom and Storytelling with Blaine Andrusik, the Rays of Light, inspiring wellness in the community, plus solo casts, Q&As, and other topics for you to enjoy. You can find this as a video version as well as the audio on any of your favorite platforms. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with somebody you know who will benefit. You can also shop online at lightcellar.ca.
Hello. Welcome to another edition of Herbal Highlights.
Herbal Highlights.
Yeah, Angela Bewick.
And Malcolm Saunders.
Yeah, we're so excited to share this conversation with you. We're going to be talking about a forbidden word.
A forbidden word.
But not really. It's so ubiquitous.
Yeah. This is a conversation.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we can use it in conversation, can't we?
Totally. Yeah. Just when it comes to products, Health Canada has been very clear that you cannot use the word tonic.
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 Yeah, right? Yeah. So, that automatically implies a health claim, and they are the grand authority on health. So, you need their permission, and they're not giving it for that word specifically. And yet, ironically, you can go and buy tonic water, gin and tonic.
Drink it with gin.
Yeah.
Or it's actually quite nice by itself. But
yeah, for sure.
For some reason, tonic water is okay, even though, there are some medicinal properties to it, the quinine, but it does also have sugar and... Oh my gosh,
Schweppes and these places that are producing it now, it's got its origins. I doubt it's copyrighted, because
I think it's probably just a general term.
Yeah, exactly. It's so ubiquitous in that way. Yeah. So
interesting.
What is a tonic? We're going to define that. We're going to get into the nuances of tonic and what are certain herbs that can be considered tonic. So we'll pull from a few different resources. This one I'd kind of written about tonics.
Great book, by the way.
Yeah.
We have it here at the Light Cellar, if you're ever interested.
Just about the only place you can get it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, I described them as herbal elites, adaptogens, and tonics. Maybe it could be argued that you could use those terms interchangeably. There are very specific definitions of what is an adaptogen. It must meet X, Y, and Z criteria to be considered that. Tonic comes with its own definition that, again, different people have. But I think we're going to hit, the heart of the essence of what is a tonic. So we'll share a couple of different interpretations, definitions, and then the specifics of how tonic could be applied in more specific ways.
Do you think tonic water is indeed a tonic? That's my question.
Right.
I guess if you're in a very mosquito, malaria-rich place.
Yeah.
Or in the forests of BC in July.
Right.
Tonic water is a nice addition to your repertoire. But
I know a little bit about cinchona bark, but I'm not intimately familiar with it in the sense that would it fit this definition, right, of tonic? So
and I think it's an extraction now. It's a singular isolated extraction, which we know is very different than the whole herb.
Yeah. What's Terry Willard's The Whole Herb? Nothing but the whole herb. So help your herbalist, something like that.
We use the whole herb. When people say herb or herb,
I
think I heard Yarrow say that. He's like, we use the whole herb in our work.
Okay, so the definition I've got in this book was referencing Ron Teagarden, who comes from the more TCM Chinese tonic herb perspective. So he says, classically, tonic herbs are defined as herbs that promote a long, healthy, vibrant, happy life without side effects. Wouldn't that be great, hey?
Oh
Without
my gosh,
the side
could you
effects.
imagine?
Yeah, even when taken over a long period of time. Further stating, tonic herbs have a protective, balancing, vitalizing quality beyond that of most other herbs, endowing them with the special title of superior herbs in the Chinese herbal system. So, here's something that Chinese herbal system, like hundreds, thousands of different herbs, but of their kind of superior herbs, which again would fit that definition of tonic, there's less than 100. I think it's like 70, 72 that are, categorized as such.
Yep.
Yeah. And, when you think of the word tonic, right, like toning, tonifying, right? You go to the gym to like tone your muscles. It's that same process. It's something that you can do daily. That's kind of a build to it versus like a...
And the opposite of that in terms of like tissue analyses, I guess, would be like a laxity or like a sort of a unwanted
flabby
looseness that you may not want in your tissues.
Right.
I can think of
you want
some
them
specifically.
toned and tight and taut.
You want the ability of relaxing when necessary.
Yeah.
Especially because everything is extremes, right? It's just like tonic herbs. We say they're no side effects, perfectly fine, but there's no absolutes when it comes to. So there are, of course, people who are going to have perhaps allergies or sensitivities to certain herbs, and that's why we encourage individual education and
there's always caveats.
things.
Actually, where's the chaga? Let's talk about these as caveats. Here we are. Here's the little piece of chaga. Okay, so these generally are considered tonic herbs. I mean, especially reishi. We've just been talking about TCM and the Chinese system. Like that is one of their top superior herbs. Though there may be 70 odd in the system, like it's within the top 3. Like people would argue about that. Again, safe to take every day, blah blah blah, no side effects. However, the one caveat I know about reishi, low blood pressure. That's
if you have low blood pressure, because it can lower your blood pressure too much.
So another action, and this is kind of where I brought in the chaga as well, and it relates, is again, tonic, adaptogen. It's this idea of like dual directional, right? It's going to support your body to find
like a modulation.
Exactly. So here's where modulation, in the sense of cardiovascular health,
immune health,
blood pressure, where it's not a modulation.
Oh,
it's actually more of a lowering. But you're exactly right. When it comes to immune health, again, someone like Robert Rogers, author of so many books, a real expert on medicinal mushrooms, says all medicinal mushrooms are immunomodulating. That being said, I've anecdotally from a couple of practitioners, they say chaga they find to be a little bit more immunostimulating. So, potential caution. Again, it's a heuristic maybe.
And the dose will matter.
That type of thing. So, but generally, tonic herbs, adaptogens, this is one of the reasons I focus on them in my own personal life, but I also encourage others as they're getting into the world of herbs, like stick with the tonics, stick with the adaptogens. Not only are they considered the best within their respective systems, like reishi in Chinese herbal medicine or ashwagandha in Ayurvedic medicine, there's a reason they're, top 1, 5, 10, 12, versus the hundreds or the thousands of other herbs, because it's hard to go wrong with them. Versus,
and they really help restore whatever system.
Balance.
There's the other word often used for them is tropho-restorative, because tropho is tissue and restorative is obviously restoring. So it takes many herbs will have an affinity to certain tissue, to certain organ systems, and so taking these regularly, especially if you're someone who your nervous system needs support, or your reproductive system needs support on a more regular basis, these tonic herbs can be incredibly helpful. for balancing things out.
Cool. So there are certain herbs that, balance like the overall body, overall systems. Maybe they've got an affinity to these, particular systems more than another, but they're general, more kind of all body, all around. Again, I think of reishi, I think of rhodiola, these types of things.
Yep.
But as you said, certain tonic herbs can have an affinity for a particular organ or a particular body system. So let's chat about some of those. Like what would be examples of, let's say, respiratory health, nervous system health, so on and so forth.
Yeah, so I would think of like nervous system. I would think of rhodiola, ashwagandha would be a lovely one. The cardiovascular system, for sure, reishi is awesome.
Yeah,
Hawthorn is amazing, and we can get it in this region as well. So that's a good one. Go to cola, like connective tissue kind of things, as well as anything in the nervous system.
Yeah, the nootropics.
What are some other ones?
Bilberry.
Bilberry for the cardiovascular system too. That's also a good one.
Yeah.
Licorice root.
Okay, totally.
Nervous system, but also it does also lower blood pressure. So be mindful of that if you have lower blood pressure.
Yeah.
Think of some more.
Yeah, well, I was going to mention.
I want to have like a hat with a bunch of herbs. Let's have a game.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Which one is this good for? Oh, Labrador tea.
Labrador tea.
Yes.
Yeah. Respiratory health, adrenals, that type of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So you might, be reading in a book. It's like, this is a great lung tonic, right? Like mullein.
Yeah.
In that sense. But don't expect it to fix your big toe.
Yeah. Don't your gout. The gout is not going to benefit from that.
So, that's great. I wanted to bring in that distinction of, specific organ tonics, but then also the tonics in the more broader sense. Like it's whole body, whole system.
They're wonderful. Nettle. We talked about nettle last week. That's another great tonic herb.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crossover. Like I always think of things as nutrition. What's the nutrition? What's the nutrient? How is that supporting certain systems? And I love tonic herbs because they kind of cross over into that nutritive and, rebalancing sort of benefits that we can get from herbs. So
yeah, totally.
Love it.
Cool.
Get your herbs in you.
Yeah, that's right.
Go on a herbal adventure. You're going on a herbal adventure soon.
You're going to go.
I know, adventure. That's true. But you were just saying about how we'll talk about this in our next video probably, but how you're going to go on a little road trip.
Yes, if timing and schedule and family all that lines up, then absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening right now in our area in the interior BC.
Oh, man.
That are pretty close. So if you are a forager, follow the foraging forecast because I have a feeling Malcolm's going to be throwing some exciting things in there.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, right on. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, as always.
Share,
take care. Stay warm. Yeah, subscribe, like. If you don't like, keep it to yourself. Nobody likes a whiner. Thank you.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give us a like, share this with someone you know who would benefit, and subscribe so you're up to date with all the new episodes coming out. You can shop online at lightseller.ca as well as visit us in the heart of Bowness in Calgary, Alberta.